What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, I want to speak on Boston Celtics leader Jayson Tatum, right? And recently I just watched I think it was First Take, and they were talking about Jayson Tatum and the amount of disrespect that Jayson Tatum like receives from just in general, the disrespect. People don't see him as a they think he's the most disrespected superstar, NBA superstar. And I have to agree. I don't know, I don't know whether it's deserved or not. I don't think it's deserved or not, but I want to talk about why I think Jason Tatum don't get the respect that he's deserving of. I think, and part of the reason is Jason Tatum is playing on a team with the guy Jaylen Brown, right? And Jaylen Brown is just, in my opinion, he Jaylen Brown is a monster, and so throughout the career where those two guys have played together, more often than not, when the Celtics were in tough games, Jaylen Brown was the one who showed up big, whether they won or lost. It was it was Jaylen Brown, the one who just showed up big, And so a lot of people they're not even sure if Jason Tatum is the best player on his team, So they think that maybe he don't deserve to have that, the kind of respect that some people think he should have. So that's number one. He may not even be the best player on his team. That's number one. Then number two, he Jason Tatum is his game to me is not flashy, right? And so people want, they want you to have like a certain amount of swag, and your game got to be flashy and things of that nature, you know, which again, I think winning is like most important, and that's what he do. They win. The Boston Celtics win. Jason Tatum, very good offensive ball player, as you know. He can inside and out, nice mid-range game. He could shoot the three-pointer. So, I don't think he really have like a lot of, he don't have any weaknesses offensively. I don't think he really had no weaknesses offensively. It's just that, like I said, in the past, sometimes in big games, Jason Tatum he didn't show up like Jaylen Brown did, right? So people kind of hold that against him. Then he's not, he don't have that swag or that attitude. He just seems more like a nice guy. He don't have that bad guy persona or attitude, right? And so that's why another reason why I think he's disrespected. And then but they still won Boston still won that championship last year, and people still don't give him the credit. The Jaylen Brown was the one who got most of the accolades and stuff for that. So that's again, it's Jaylen Brown. But do I think he's the most disrespected? I do think he's the most disrespected, especially like how they treated him in the Olympics. Steve Kerr really didn't give him a lot of time in those Olympics, which I thought that, Jaylen Brown is like in the prime of his career. And so you got him on the Olympic team. You got him with Steph Curry. You got him on there with Kevin Durant, and you got him on there with LeBron James. And these are older ball players, So it would have, as a coach of that Olympic team, it would have made more sense to me to cut their minutes and give more minutes to Jason Tatum, because those three guys are not really coming back to the Olympics. Like the next time USA play, those three guys are not coming back. And so you don't want Jason Tatum to have a bad taste in his mouth because of the experience that he had in the Olympics, where he probably felt like he just won a championship, with the Boston Celtics, and then he couldn't see the floor. Like he's not good enough to get on the floor, with those three old guys out there. Now, don't get me wrong, Steph Curry did his thing out there, but I still think that Jayson Tatum should have, because he won that championship. He coming off a championship run, and he couldn't get on the floor. I thought that was disrespectful right there. I don't know where the disrespect come from. I don't know if it's because Jayson Tatum is not the kind of guy who, I don't say like he's gonna cause a big scene. It's going to be a big stir or anything. And to be honest, I'm glad he didn't, right? Because of didn't act out of character or nothing like that. But I hope that coming back this season, I hope that the Boston Celtics repeat. I got my pick is for Boston to make it out of the East, even though Cleveland, they had an excellent season. They play out of their mind. I don't think Milwaukee is going to be able to do anything. Basically, I think it's going to be Boston coming out of that East, right? And out the West, I like to see Golden State. I like to see a Golden State matchup with the Boston Celtics, and then I got Boston taking it over Golden State. So, and at the beginning of this season, Boston started out, on a tear because they felt like they was being disrespected. Jaylen Brown felt like he was disrespected over the off season. So he came out, in a tear. And their coach, Joe Mazzulla, just used that as motivation to push his guys to have them come out and play hard, and just go on a tear in the East. And basically this season, that's what they've been on a mission. So I'm hoping that they are able to repeat and complete their mission. I don't know. Jayson Tatum to me don't seem like he'll ever be a guy who is who people just like. His game is just not flashy. It's basic, but it's effective. As long as Jayson Tatum get rid of that narrative, like he don't show up in some big games, I think his career, I think he'll be all right. I think he'll be all right. The other guy, Jaylen Brown, he, tough at both ends of the court, and his game is a little bit more. He can get some big dunks, and he hits shots in big moments. So I like that tandem though. I like that Brown and Tatum tandem. So he disrespected, and outside of his team, I don't know if he really paying that any attention. He got the respect of the guys who play on his team with him, his coaching staff. They got a lot of confidence in him. I seen him do some things in the playoffs. Like I was impressed. One series, I think it was a couple years ago when Boston played against Kevin Durant. I don't know if Kevin Durant was in Phoenix at that time or if he was still with Brooklyn. But Jayson Tatum played Kevin Durant really tough. He made it hard for Kevin Durant to score. He affected Kevin Durant's shot all over the court. And I thought that was a big that was a big series for Jayson Tatum, to show up big in that series against like one of the greatest scorers in NBA history, Kevin Durant. So, yeah, I mean, if I'm Jayson Tatum, the disrespect thing, I probably wouldn't pay too much attention to it. Like I said, the way you gain people respect is this: you just continue to win, because with you winning and people trying to constantly talk bad about your game, after a while, people, they just look silly. They really just don't, they saying you can't do it and you constantly doing it, then they got to change their narrative. They really got to change their narrative. So I think success will change that narrative, about him not being a clutch ball player. And then I think that disrespect thing will be, I think that, they'll take that off the table and they'll just be honest and just say, well, the guy is effective, but his game is just not pretty. He's not a rah-rah type of guy. He's not flashy or anything like that. And, they'll have to give him his props because, he already had one championship ring. And so if Boston gets a second one, I think that monkey will come off his back. But I know one thing: if I'm Jayson Tatum, and the next time they want me to play in the Olympics, I'm like, nah, man. I find a way to get out of it, and because I know that Olympic those people in charge of that committee and stuff, they try to put pressure on you and try to play the the card, just try to put pressure on you to get you to play national pride and all this other stuff when they didn't drug them, they trying to and whatever they try to do to get Jayson Tatum to play in the Olympics, I wouldn't even play next time. Nor would if I'm what's the guy Brown, I make sure okay, when we was at the top of our game, when we was having the most success, y'all wasn't bright enough to take us then. So, it is what it is. Y'all find somebody else to go. I'll make sure I'm in a championship every year or in contention for a championship every year. And y'all go find other ball players who won't do that. But it's a big sacrifice to ask somebody to give up their summer after they've been in the playoffs and the championship and give up your summer and go somewhere else in the world and play basketball. And so, you wasting those guys' time. Even though I thought Jaylen Brown should have been over there, they chose what's the guy name? His teammate White. I forgot his first name, which I like him too. But and next time y'all want me to come, or y'all, well, you want my teammate to come, I'm like, nah, man, I'm gonna fake an injury or do something, man, because they try to put pressure on you to get you to play when they want you to play. And then they got over there and then they just wasted this guy's time. So if I'm anybody on the Celtics, I don't want no part of those Olympics, man, because they messed up. They messed up for real. But that's my take on it. I do think that Jayson Tatum he is the most disrespected NBA superstar. But only way he can cure that is to continue to win, man. Just go out there and dominate around the league. And then as long as you have the respect of your peers and other ball players around the league, what Stephen A. Smith say, what Shannon Sharp say, that stuff would just be, it won't even matter because the guys who out there, your peers, they know that you're the real deal, and that's what's most important. So, like I said, that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I will check you all out in the next video. Peace.